After what they did to this guy, he has to keep his adrenaline up or he'll be ripped in peace. We open with a guy, Chev Chaleos, dropping from his bed feeling some type of way. He goes to the living room and sees a CD which has the words "F-U" written on it. Of course he's curious. He plays a video of Ricky Verona, who reveals that he injected him with a substance, explaining why he feels unwell. In the video, Chev is poisoned and told he has a maximum of an hour to live after being knocked out by one of the men. He goes on to tell him that this is revenge for killing Don Kim. Now we see Chev's face. He's seething. Then he screams and starts destroying his TV, like really smashing it, mistreating it by throwing and kicking. After destroying his television, he runs out of his house and heads to the parking lot downstairs. He steps on cars to reach his own, then runs over a man who complained. He's driving like the transporter, which he is, and we see his heart beating rapidly. He calls his girlfriend Eve while driving, but it goes to voicemail. He calls Dr. Miles's office. A lady says Dr. Miles is not available right now. He is busy. So Chev leaves a message with her for the doctor. The message? Chev Chaleos is doomed. Chev is still driving but appears exhausted. His vision is blurry. His heart rate is slowing, and he's about to fall. Stepping on the accelerator revives him, bringing back some life. He now calls a person named Kayla, who is a drag queen. Chev is telling him that Ricky showed up at his apartment last night and basically clapped him. He is searching for Ricky, and he says he must get even with him if that's the last thing he does. It might truly be your final act, sir, based on current observations. That's if you do. He tells Kayla to find Ricky Verano. Chev reaches Orlando's area. He burst into a club, grabbed Orlando, and dragged him into the bathroom at gunpoint. He's asking him where Ricky is. While Chev threatens Orlando to reveal Ricky's location, Orlando's boys burst into the bathroom, guns pointed at Chev. Orlando continues to beg for Chev despite a gun being pointed at him. A real stand-up guy. Orlando insists he doesn't know where Ricky is. He is looking for Ricky because Ricky cheated him in a business deal and owes him 7.5s. Chev is convinced and drops his gun. He begins to stagger. His heart is acting up again. He requested sugar from Orlando. Understandable. Even as Chev is dying, Orlando still demanded his money. Admire a man who prioritizes his goals. Chev pays, and Orlando gives him sugar. Chev rips it open, spilling the contents on the bathroom floor, but he doesn't mind. He proceeds to eat all the sugar with his nose. How strange. This is a life and death matter. The sugar helps him regain stability and stand up. Orlando is informed that Ricky is being hidden by some Chinese people to be attacked, and Orlando realizes this involves Don Kim. As they're talking, his heartbeat slows down again and he says the sugar isn't working. He knows his duty. And what is that? Kick some ass. Before Leno responds, Chev headbutts one of his men. He asks, who wants some? Chased by everyone, he escapes the club, gets into his car, and drives away. Ricky Verona calls while he's in the car, asking why he's not dead yet. Chev threatens to come after the man who slept with his girl. He also says a certain Carlito will clap Ricky when he finds out what he did. Ricky says he and Carlito are friends now. Chev is repeatedly asked by cops to pull over while he's on the phone. He ignores them. Another call comes in for him. It's Dr. Miles. Jeb tells him he's been poisoned and is dying. He describes his symptoms to the doctor while driving through a mall. Yes, inside the mall. The doctor explains that adrenaline is sustaining him, and he must keep moving to stay alive. He suspects he was injected with the Beijing cocktail, which blocks adrenaline receptors and more. But basically, if he stops moving, he dies. While still on the call and being chased by cops, he crashes his car and ends up on an escalator. He climbs out and runs. Dr. Miles says he'll arrive in LA in an hour and advises Chev to keep moving. Chev spots a taxi outside. He throws the person inside out of it like it's GTA and tells the driver to just drive. Despite his heart acting up, he asks the driver to turn up the music. The song discusses a cranky and achy heart. He nods vigorously to the music and soon asks the driver to pull over. He exits the cab and asks the driver to wait. He enters a supermarket, pulls the attendant out, drops him, and points a gun at him. He threatens him with death if he moves, while consuming energy drinks. Despite his efforts to call his girl, it keeps going to voicemail. He takes the flower for her. Worry lesson, boys. Never forget the misses even amidst tremendous chaos. A bit of a simp moment. He returns to the cabin, and I'm surprised the cab driver waited. Chev instructs him to drive to Beverly Hills. We are at Carlito's penthouse. The location is protected by armed guards. When Carlito dives into the pool, he sees Chev there. Chev asks for an antidote, but Carlito says there isn't one and he can't help. It's what they give to horses. He's even telling him that it's a miracle that he's even still alive. Chev seeks help to find Ricky, but Carlito refuses. He claims to love Chev, but this might compensate for the ill-advised Don Kim hit. Hong Kong experienced more heat than expected after the hit. Carlito has been smiling the whole time. Chev's yelling makes his smile vanish. He asks Chev if he felt disrespected, so Chev just gets out of the pool and leaves. The cab driver is still waiting outside for him. He earned $200 for waiting just 3 minutes. I'd wait if I were you. Shev's wet clothes are the deal breaker for the cab guy. He refuses to let Shev in his cab wet. What does Shev do? He throws the guy to the ground and shouts something racist. Everyone nearby rushes to attack him. Shev drives away. While on the road, he gets a call from his doctor, who informs him that his flight was delayed and assists him over the phone. He explains that to survive, Shev must boost his ephedrine levels, as energy drinks alone aren't sufficient. Shev needs to go to a hospital for epinephrine and artificial adrenaline injections, but is cautioned not to overuse them. Shev might not have even gotten a fifth. Kahlo informs him that he saw Verona's brother heading to the prince just 2 minutes ago. Shev meets with Kahlo, asks some questions, then proceeds. Verona's brother spots him, draws his gun, and chases him. Shev is hiding outside waiting for him, unbeknownst to him. Once outside, Shev cuts off his own hand. He asked about his brother's location, but got no answer. So a fight starts. He's still holding his gun with one arm. Kilo assists his friend by striking Verona's brother with a stick. So he goes after Kahlo. Jeb tries to shoot but runs out of bullets. As he walks towards them, he notices the severed hand with the gun and picks it up. Not just the gun, the hand. He essentially makes the guy hit himself because it was the guy's finger that pulled the trigger. Can we say this was a self-deletion? Shev uses the guy's phone to call Ricky. Ricky cannot comprehend Shev's survival. Shev is taunting him. Ricky becomes very angry when his brother takes a medallion from his neck, as it has been passed down from their grandfather. Shev tells Ricky he'll have to come find him, then hangs up. And guess what? Shev can't remember his doctor's prescription. Despite everything, he visits the hospital and tells the pharmacist. She understands him but says she can't give it to him. She leaves to make a call. While she's away, a guy informs Shev that a nasal spray contains epinephrine, so he grabs some and leaves quickly. While he's consuming all the cans, a woman with a cop points at him, prompting the cop to pursue him. Shev enters a room with a sick elderly man. A few moments later, cops enter. They inspect the room, declare it clear, and then exit. Shev exits the closet, dons an unattractive hospital robe, and begins walking. He walks past the cops, who then notice and chase him. He starts running again. As he runs, he sees a man being wheeled into the ER. He demands epinephrine while pointing a gun at a doctor. After about a minute, the guy finds it and gives it to Jeff. Shev is still not satisfied. He grabs the defibrillator and requests a jolt. He does, and Shev gets thrown into the elevator. The cops try to catch him, but he fires and they flee. He ejects the man from the elevator and closes it. Despite his racing heart, he sits up and takes some epinephrine. After injecting everything, he remembers to ask how much of it he mentioned to Tay. He quickly exits the elevator and the hospital. He's running on the road like a vehicle. He's sprinting at an insane speed. He receives a call from the doctor. Shev is informed they are airborne and asked if he has the epinephrine. The doctor realized Shev took the entire thing and warned him it might kill him, even without Shev saying it. He correctly guesses all of Shev's symptoms, including being broken up. I need to acquire some of that. Been nice knowing you. Picture your doctor saying that. That's as good as a life sentence. Shev keeps running. He pauses upon noticing a small group gathered around a TV, watching the news. He was shocked to discover they were talking about him on TV. He's wanted. What does he do first upon learning the police are after him? He takes a police officer's bike. He believes he's Mike from GTA. He doesn't simply steal the bike and leave. He spins briefly before riding away. He's performing wild stunts on a bike, exposed to everyone. He stands on the bike with arms spread and eyes closed. He unknowingly crashes into a small outdoor restaurant. He loses consciousness briefly, but is awakened by his ringing phone. His girlfriend, Eve. She finally says she's been sleeping. Typical. He informs her of his fatal poisoning and warns that his psychopath might come to torture her, which she reacts to indifferently. He says he'll be with her in a flash, though. He asked her to fry some waffles for him. Now we see Ricky being presented with his brother's hand. He laughs and suggests they go get her. Shev arrives at Eve's apartment wearing a tracksuit. He's urging them to leave immediately, while she's focused on repairing the microwave. You have no idea what's going on right now, do you? She'll join him only if he repairs the microwave. So he goes to do it. While he's there, he realizes the epinephrine is fading. What does he do? He burns his hand in the waffle iron. Eve wants to see the burn, but he refuses. He raises his voice because she insists. He apologizes quickly and they leave. As they're about to leave, Shev sees men with pistols arriving outside. He's trying to leave quickly, but Eve needs to go back inside to turn off the waffle iron. While she is in the apartment, the gunman calls. She picks up the phone but hears nothing. As Eve is distracted saying hello, Shev quickly attacks the caller and returns to her just in time. He sees the other gunman outside. He distracts Eve by quickly emptying her handbag on the floor. As Shev picks up her stuff, he quietly runs off to fight the guy. He finishes him off and throws him into the pool without Eve noticing. They eventually reach a Chinese restaurant where Shev uses the nasal spray. He tells Eve, who has hiccups, about what has been happening. He tells her he lied about being a video game programmer. He's a professional assassin. He recounts to her the events of last night, where he almost killed Don Kim, a mafia boss. With a gun aimed at Don Kim's head, he was prompted not to pull the trigger. He tells him to get out of town to disappear, being visible for 48 hours. He quit his job for Eve, as he's telling her now. She's still in love despite everything learned. Champ says he wanted to just go to her that night and tell her everything and skip town with her. All this nonsense started. But the mob hits Chinese poison and all that sound ridiculous to her. She suspects he's lying to end their relationship. She storms off. He chases her. While he's explaining things to her, his heart acts up again. He goes down to his knees, and can you guess the solution he has come up with this time? To clap Eve right there. Of course she says no. Who wouldn't? He tries to get feisty, but she hits him. She feels bad for him. She checks if he's okay, and then things start to get a little saucy. People are gathered around watching them like it's a football game. He receives a call from Kalo. He has Verona. Chev promptly leaves and heads to the location given by Kalo. It's Don Kim's shirt factory. The Haitian cab driver notices he doesn't look all right while he's in the cab. He thinks Chev is an addict, so he gives him some Haitian shit, as he calls it. What the hell? And drinks it. At first he's gone. Moments later, he leans against the window, and time appears to slow. He arrives at Don Kim's shirt factory too late, finding that they have already captured Kalo. Chev is seen exiting the cab, but he avoids using the front entrance. He climbs to the roof, sees a man in a suit, and throws him down. He goes to Kalo and asks for Ricky Verona's location. The person in charge assures him that Ricky is not involved. It's Carlito who wants him off the streets because he has totally lost his shit. They say his antics of late have been causing the organization a great deal of embarrassment. He instructs Champ to find a quiet place to die, assuring him they'll care for Ricky. He doesn't agree with that idea. He begins shooting in the factory, then someone shows up. Eve, maybe now you'll believe what he's been saying all along. Despite using Kalo as a human shield, he reaches the elevator to meet Eve but gets shot in the leg. The gunmen follow them downstairs, where innocent tailors are working. They slipped by, but Chev caught up and trapped his hand in a sewing machine from behind. More men arrive and shoot at them, but they escape through the fire escape. They're truly escaping the fire. He claps and the men following him move. A few more men arrive and start shooting indiscriminately. Chev successfully escapes by driving off in the car. Eve now says, "You aren't lying," referring to when he said he'd give it all up for her, and he says yes. She understands that if the poison is real, her true love doesn't have long to live. She's distressed. She asks how to stop it, but he says only adrenaline can slow it. Now what he did in Chinatown makes sense, so she decides to keep him alive in her heart by moving on. They're being pursued by multiple cars, with men in the cars shooting at them. He manages to clap one. Eve stops to avoid getting too tired and falling asleep afterward. I guess you could just say she truly has a good head on her shoulders. He stops the car, gets out, and claps a few more men. He returns to the car and drives away. He tells Eve to stay in the car and limps into the hardware store. But of course, Eve never listens. She finds Chev in the store, hammering nails into his leg. He's doing that because he can't feel his legs. He receives a call from the doctor. He's now in his office and asks Chev to come. Chev and Eve arrive, but Dr. Miles's treatment on Chev isn't going well. What he's giving him is temporary. He can extend his life with support for a few days, but eventually, he will fall into a coma. Dr. Miles offers to overdose Chev for a peaceful death, but Chev declines. He wants 1 hour. He needs an hour for something specific. This man right here, Ricky Verona. Ricky is watching TV in his car and all the news is about Chev. He receives a call from Chev offering a deal. He demands the antidote in exchange for returning the medallion he took from his brother. He agrees, and Chev provides a meeting location. It's clear that Ricky values the medallion highly, suggesting he doesn't play with family. Verona makes a call while heading to the location. We also see Chev in a suit walking to the location in slow-mo. He walks into the place, checks his insulin pump and gun in the bathroom, wipes his sweat, then leaves. He's good to go. He takes some pills in the elevator. That's more than a few, to be honest. The pills act quickly. He's hearing his mother's admonishing voice, but it's from the man in the elevator. The voice switches to the Asian man speaking in a foreign language. Changes back to Orlando's voice. He eventually adopts both his own voice and face. He's criticizing himself. After everything clears, he realizes the man was silent for the entire elevator ride. The man exits the elevator and 2 men escort him to a room. They confiscate his gun and take him outside where he encounters Carlito and Verona. Verona requested another pat-down, causing his insulin pump to be removed. Carlito puts on his leather gloves while Chev successfully gets into Ricky's head. Ricky gets riled up, stands up, and points a gun at Chev after being called Carlito's little bitch. Carlito tells him to sit, and he does. Oh man, can't you see what that looks like, Ricky? Carlito takes out more Chinese stuff from a case, preparing to finish off Chev. Jeff objects, making finger gun signs and pointing at them. Everyone is confused now, including me. Ricky believes he's losing his mind until he mimics shooting and actually kills someone. Bullets to the forehead. It wasn't a magic trick. Don Kim's arrival led to a shooting by one of his men. A shootout occurs with numerous casualties, just as the cops arrive outside. Ricky reaches for a gun to shoot, but Chev throws a bottle, causing him to drop it. He drops the gun, which then blows off his fingers. Despite hiding, Carlito calls someone for help to escape the situation. Wade, a grenade was brought to a gunfight. Come on, that is not fair. Carlito uses one of his men as a shield against the grenade, and then escapes. Ricky attempts to flee, but Chev keeps him in sight. Just as he was about to clamp Ricky, his heart acted up and his vision blurred again. He is shooting without being able to see his target clearly. Me in video games. Chev catches Carlito as he tries to escape in a chopper. He aims a gun at Carlito, saying it's from Kalo. He should have shot him instead of talking because Ricky came from behind and injected him with something. He falls instantly. Ricky claps Carlito, instructs the pilot to fly the helicopter slowly. Chev's heart restarts. He stands up and fights with Ricky while the chopper is airborne. Ricky is trying to push him off, but he's holding on tightly. Ricky struggles with that simple task. Chev grabs him and they both fall off the helicopter. But he saves Ricky from falling to his death. He snaps his neck midair. The biggest lesson from the movie is about to be revealed. Despite falling to his death, Chev calls his girlfriend, but it goes to voicemail. He writes her a heartfelt message. He concludes with, "You're the greatest." He falls, hits a car, then lands on the ground. Despite the long fall, I'll accept it because he left a beautiful message for the love of his life. Can't relate. Moral of the story, Jason Statham.